everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from sunny Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast,
I'm Frank Feldman.
and I'm Dan Beecher.
And Dan.
Yeah.
Coming up today, we're going to have a little discussion about, how'd you say it earlier? Internal propaganda.
Yeah.
Religious organizations. I mean, we're going to specifically talk about Mormon. Because that's what we know.
I've seen videos that, like, the J-Dubs produce for other J-Dubs.
Yeah.
You know, and all of the pamphlets that are just... We're going to talk about the internal... This isn't produced for the external world.
No.
It's produced
This is to make...
by Mormons for Mormons.
Right.
By Catholics for... No, I don't think
All right,
Catholics
we
do it.
can't really talk about the Catholics.
But
the Mormons, yeah. Mormons,
So
we know that one.
Scientologists,
Good
I
Lord.
know they make a lot of videos for themselves.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of a crazy thing. So we're going
it's
to
a
talk...
wacky concept. And all of these weirdo religions totally are super hip to it.
Well, yeah. You got to promote yourself to yourself, you know.
Apparently.
Gotta...
You got to keep that circular thinking circling.
Oh, yeah. Man.
It's definitely good, yeah.
Well, here's might as well just jump into a story.
Dive in. Please do.
About a film that's being produced as a collaboration between an independent Christian filmmaker and an evangelical university. You've heard of it, I'm sure. Liberty.
Oh, LibU.
University.
Yeah.
They have their students and staff collaborating on this film project.
Ooh, I'm all a buzz.
It's really exciting, Dan. It's called The Trump Prophecy. So, yeah, this is it's going to be promoting the idea that a lot of these people have about Donald Trump. That he is essentially ordained by God to be president,
right?
Handpicked,
Yeah,
chosen by God to heal America. And
yeah, healing is what I'm feeling right now. In the United States, if there's one thing that I'm feeling,
and to bring us back to our that Christian past that we all just long for.
it's so yummy.
This is all based. So there's this Trump prophecy thing is actually a real thing. So this is a film that's based on real life events, all surrounding a prophecy from a guy by the name of Mark Taylor.
We've featured him.
He's a retired firefighter from Orlando.
Oh, and he is a self-styled prophet.
He is a prophet.
He talks nonstop about the future.
Yeah. So he believes that in April of 2011, God told him that Trump would one day be the president of the United States. He was watching TV around 2 a.m. when Trump appeared on a news program.
Yeah.
And then he heard a voice of God, right, saying to him, "You're hearing the voice of a president." Trump was talking, "You're hearing the voice of a president." And so he grabs a pen, right, and he writes down the words that were coming directly from the Holy Spirit to him.
Yeah.
And he claims that God had chosen Trump to bring honor, respect, and restoration to America. And that America would prosper like it never has prospered before.
Wait, here's what I'm going to... Okay. Maybe he's right. But let's just point out that, like, our economy is, like, tumbling into chaos right now.
Yeah.
We've got trade wars happening with fucking Canada. Like,
the tariffs on maple syrup are just...
The G7 just announced today that they'll be fine as G6 if he wants to sit this one out, because he's starting Twitter wars with everybody. Like, so far, not great.
Right, but what about those?
But he made it to the presidency.
he made it to the presidency.
So we got that.
What about the ties between Israel and the U.S.?
Oh,
These are
those
strong.
So strong.
So strong. And that was included in the prophecy.
Okay, well.
This is important.
Woo!
Right? If you're a Christian,
He's like 2 for 6.
You don't care about
We'll
the
see
G7.
the rest of it coming.
you don't care about the G7.
Well,
You care about Israel.
it's kind of important.
And we're talking about the G2.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Israel and the United States. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Anyway, he thought that it would be, this was 2011, right? So he figured it was going to happen in 2012. It didn't,
Yeah.
right? Sadly, because then it would be over.
We'd be picking up the pieces.
But then in 2015, he showed the prophecy to Dr. Don Colbert.
Oh, so he didn't publicize this prophecy before.
No, it's been sort of passed around. So there's this Dr. Don Colbert, who's a Christian physician and author. He passes it on to his wife, Mary Colbert, which looks like Colbert, but I just can't bring myself to say it. Colbert. It is Colbert. So she immediately believed it was a prophecy.
Oh, my
right?
God.
And after Trump announced his candidacy, Mary Colbert sent copies of Taylor's words to Christian leaders across the land, right? And started a grassroots prayer chain for America to, quote, return to the godly principles we were founded upon.
Well, definitely, because if there's one thing we can say confidently about Donald John Trump, it is that he's a good Christian.
I don't know how this could have been right. How could Christians back before they were glomming on to him as a legitimate candidate, right? How would they look at that man, right?
We're talking about a guy who is a total womanizer, has never made like an ethical choice in his life,
never. Ever. But some critics are pointing out, of course, that it's hard to call Taylor a prophet and to accept this as, therefore, prophecy when you examine the body of Taylor's prophetic work,
right?
Which includes a claim that President Obama is going to be charged with treason. And that Trump will release cures for cancer and Alzheimer's disease that the pharmaceutical industry has been keeping secret.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's what's great about prophecy is that if you do it right, and I'm not saying he has, I don't think he has done it right. He can always just say, yet. It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
That could still happen.
Yep.
Trump's got years left to release those cures.
Absolutely.
Which obviously exist.
Well,
very clearly, Big Pharma has the cures for all of the diseases.
there is not a disease, but there's not a cure for it.
Hidden in a vault because obviously they don't make any money curing anything.
Right. They need to slowly dole these out
over
time so they, can stay in business. The director of the film, right?
Yeah.
He says that they're making the film in such a way that will allow the viewer to decide whether Taylor is a true prophet or not.
Oh, well, that's smart.
It's being left.
They're not going to take it. They're not going to take the position that he is. Okay,
right.
Yeah, because they know better than to not hedge that bet.
Right. Yes. The Trump Prophecy website describes the film as an inspirational message of hope, highlighting the vast beauty and greatness of the United States, its electoral process. The trailer references a Bible verse that says, "If God's people humble themselves, pray and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, God will heal their land."
Whose face are we seeking?
God's face. Or
What?
Trump's face. It doesn't matter.
My God. All right. I'm going to take us away from the United States for a bit. to Nairobi, Kenya. Actually, not Nairobi. That's the dateline that RNS had, but it's actually we're going to be talking about the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Oh yeah. Okay.
The giant African republic right in the middle of the country, sort of, or of the continent, rather. Apparently, Catholics, the archdiocese of a place that I can't pronounce, but I'll try, Mbandaka Bikoro. That archdiocese, you know that one. You're familiar. You're eminently familiar.
It's my favorite archdiocese.
Of all the archdioceses.
Mbaka and Darko?
Bikoro.
Mbandaka
Bikoro.
My favorite.
Right.
It's beautiful.
It spans almost 60,000 miles, this archdiocese.
It's a bit of land.
Of the region's 1.2 million residents, about 650,000 are Catholics, and none of them are going to get the sacraments of the Catholic Church for a bit.
Why?
Ebola.
Oh.
There's been an outbreak of the Ebola virus, which is very serious, and I'm glad they're taking these precautions.
Yeah.
But it does say something, I think, about the nature of these sacred rituals that, they can turn a cracker into Jesus, but they can't get rid of Ebola. Like a prayer is good enough to make literal magic happen.
Right.
But not good enough to erase a virus. Like when real life hits, we're not going to be doing that.
Instead of body of Christ, right? Because they put the host in the body of Christ. It should be cure for Ebola.
Right, exactly.
Cure for Ebola.
Body of Christ sans Ebola hemorrhagic fever. How about that? Yeah.
That works.
So they will not be doing any of, so they will not be baptized, they will not be confirmed, which involves laying on of hands. They will not be, they will not be ordained or anointed.
Oh.
There will be a communion, but it will be administered to the hand, not to the mouth, which is awkward when you get the wine, because because pouring it in your hand sucks.
Just lap it out. So I love hand wine.
Hand wine.
Hand wine's some of my favorite wine.
That's some good wine. So yes, if you were hoping to take communion on the Umbangi River anytime soon,
I have a trip planned to the Umbagi River.
Your dreams will be dashed, I'm afraid.
Oh God!
Also,
I didn't know Ebola was happening either.
Also, there's an outbreak
but I'm more
of Ebola,
concerned about not being able to get.
Probably don't go to that region, is what I would say.
Yeah, but it's not about the Ebola. It's that I can't get my
your communion,
my baptism.
Yeah,
I was saving my baptism for my trip to the Mbagal River.
Right,
and
well,
and now I can't, Dan.
No, you can't. Cancel
the holy water, Dan.
It's almost not even worth being Catholic anymore. Jesus Christ, I'm quitting the Catholic Church.
All right, Dan.
Yeah.
New York City.
Dateline, New York.
Yeah. Very diverse city.
You think?
Lots of people move there from all over the world.
It's quite cosmopolitan, really.
Including conservative Muslims.
Sure.
And they have a large Jewish population.
The conservative Muslims have a large Jewish population?
And they have... Thank you, Dan.
New York has a large... I gotcha.
So large conservative Jewish and conservative Muslim population.
It's true.
Who, they have the same wants and needs as you and I, Dan, deep down.
Yeah.
One of those wants and needs includes enjoying a day at the beach.
Everybody loves a good day at the beach.
Everybody loves a good day at the beach, unless, of course, a mixed gender beach would be appalling.
And it is. And it is appalling.
It's appalling.
Wait a minute. Are we going to get... Okay, so you're going to tell your story and whatever, but what I've just flashed on is that the perfect thing for these like ultra-Orthodox Jews who can't be with a woman or whatever. Gay beaches. They need to go to the gay ones.
Get out to Fire Island,
Get
guys.
to Fire Island. Ruin it for the gay people. Anyway, what's your story?
Well, a New York City councilman has concocted an idea to have to sponsor June 29th as a day for men at this one specific beach at Kingsborough Community College. It's on the eastern end of Coney Island. And then July 27th would be a day for women.
And these are public beaches.
This is a public beach.
Then nope. Answer equals no. Sorry.
Let's see. This is in an email statement from the councilman. He says, for many New Yorkers, including religious Jews and Muslims who follow modesty laws, there's no opportunity to have a real beach experience.
Oh.
Nobody should be disenfranchised because of their religious observance.
Oh.
I think if your religious observance says you can't be on a mixed, you've disenfranchised yourself.
Yeah. Talk to your God about that problem. Don't talk to your congressperson.
Right. That's your problem.
Yeah.
Right.
1,000%. Here's the thing. You're welcome on that beach.
Yeah.
You can go to that beach.
Absolutely.
If you can't handle the fact that there's a lady there, that's your fucking problem. If you can't handle the fact that there's a man there, and I get it, he's fat and he's in a very small Speedo.
Yeah.
No. That is your problem.
Right.
You don't get to go to the beach.
Now, there's a couple interesting details here that I want to make sure that we're being true to.
Okay.
Both of these days would be days that the beach would have normally been closed.
Why?
I don't fully understand that. I mean, because the beach is at this community college. And so I think maybe the community college runs the beach normally, and they're not up and running for the summer.
Huh.
I'm not entirely sure as to why the beach would have been closed those days, but they would have been closed. So you can do a beach rental for $400 a day in order to pay for the lifeguards and other staff that you would need. Okay. So this is getting into the realm of where I start going, well, maybe it's okay.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because especially if they weren't using public funds or whatever to pay for the beach rental, then I'm like, well, then it's a private beach. Well, it sounds so, but there's this one issue. He was asked about how he plans to enforce the segregation.
Right.
Right. And he says, we're hoping that people will be respectful of their neighbors and not infringe on their fun day at the beach. So it sounds like when the beach is open, the beach is open.
Yeah.
You pay to open the beach. You're not, there's no mechanism to keep it private.
I'm confused by
I'm a little confused as well, but people are upset. The New York Civil Liberties Union obviously is it's upset about the idea of segregating genders on public beaches.
Well, I mean, here's the other thing. Maybe, I get it. There are these fringe religious groups that don't get served. Well, guess what? There are also fringe religious groups who would like a day at the beach without black folks. You going to cater to them too?
Right.
There are fringe groups that are, that it's their firmly held religious belief that gay people should not be allowed. So should we have a day without the gays?
Right. But isn't that amazing, though?
Yeah.
We're hoping that people will be respectful of their neighbors.
Oh, I think that hope is going to be dashed. I think there are going to be, ladies showing up in straight up almost nothing bikinis specifically to protest this thing.
I would hope.
I would hope so.
Especially if it goes through. He's getting a little bit of flack, so maybe it won't even happen.
It's not going to happen,
but just the idea of it.
That's a terrible...
These people, these overly prudish people, they want to enjoy the beach too.
Right.
Well, surely there's a private beach somewhere that you can rent.
Or fucking just you know what, buy a fuck ton of sand and put it next to a pond or whatever. But you don't get to go to a public beach and dictate who else doesn't get to go there. All right, I'm going to take us now to England, to the UK, home of the National Health Service, the NHS, where last year, or you'll recall that last year we discussed them deciding that they weren't going to pay for homeopathy anymore.
Right.
They're not
good on them.
Right. They decided, oh, wait, we're spending, and I think I have the figure here, an estimated £200 million a year to give people therapies that are literally, there's no evidence that they do anything, and quite a bit of evidence that they do nothing. So the NHS decided we're not going to do this anymore. Well, they got sued.
No.
By the British Homeopathic Association.
What?
Who claimed that there was, quote, plain evidence that homeopathic treatment does work in particular cases.
Oh, and they're not just going to go away quietly.
No. They are suing. They are just livid with this.
Wait, they have evidence that in particular cases?
Right. Those people who are insanely prone to the placebo effect, apparently.
See how well it works?
Look, George over here feels great. I mean, he's still dying, but he feels a lot better.
Right.
Anyway, apparently now a judge has decided. So this went to court. A judge decided against, against the British Homeopathic Association. There was a. Actually, no. So I was thinking that there was. I'm confusing it with another story. Sorry. There wasn't. The judge has said no. The judge has said the NHS is perfectly within its rights to do this.
To say that is unscientific.
Yeah.
They should not be spending their money on that.
And if any of our listeners are proponents of this, of homeopathy, just know you're ridiculous. That is the official stated position of the TGIA podcast. Because that stuff doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It's not real.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Matter of fact, we sat and watched. When we were
the Amazing Randy.
The Amazing Randy. This delightful nonagenarian gets up in front of the entire group. He was our opening act. I'm just going to say it.
He went on before us.
We had to follow that.
It was horrifying to follow the Amazing Randy. Also because everybody there was there for the Amazing Randy.
No, there was at least 4 or 5 people who were there for us.
And they were like, who are these fucking yahoos?
Anyway, one of the great things is that he opens pretty much every one of his acts by opening a brand new bottle of homeopathic quote unquote medicine,
right,
and downing the entire bottle right there in front of us.
Yeah.
It takes minutes for him to get them all down. And he just does it. And his
point is, if it did something, he would be overdosing on that thing.
If it was any kind of anything, if there was active ingredient in the pills at all,
he just OD'd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a frail little 90-year-old man. He's tiny. He's 0 feet tall.
Oh, what a delightful human being.
Yeah, he's great.
Anyway. All right, Dan.
Yeah.
We, on this podcast, have talked about our national motto.
Of these United States of America.
States, in God we trust. The very unfortunate national motto.
Used to be unofficially E pluribus unum.
Which is a fantastic
Which is an
motto.
Amazing national motto. Not popular among the Trump supporters, but
unfortunately,
out of many, one, a message of unity.
Yeah.
But then the Red Scare happened in the 50s, and they decided to make our national motto the stupid God thing.
Indeed. So there was a court case that was going forward from a Satanist, a non-theistic Satanist, as he calls himself.
Right.
who was challenging the use of the motto on American currency.
Sure. This has been attempted before.
This has been attempted many times. And once again, it fell on deaf ears. This time, a federal court in Chicago, the 7th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, ruled that the motto is not an endorsement of a particular religion, but rather a phrase that merely acknowledges a part of our nation's heritage, albeit a religious part. The motto, and it continues, the motto's placement on currency has the secular purpose of recognizing the religious component of our nation's history. Chief Judge Diane Wood, you're stretching there.
Yeah.
And it does not affect current religious practices.
Here's the thing. Everybody, stop fucking suing over this. You're just creating more precedent for the next guy to not be able to sue over this.
I don't know. Has the secular purpose? That seems like something that's almost...
Of course it's bullshit. I get that it's bullshit, but the thing is that, this has been litigated so many times that now there's just no way. There's too much, judicial precedent on this for other judges to draw on. So you're never going to win this fight in the courts. What's going to have to happen is, as our country gets more and more secular, it'll become okay to actually acknowledge that a whole bunch of us don't fucking believe in the guy.
Right.
And eventually it'll be legislated out. But the courts already have too much precedent on this one. There's no way.
Well, it just takes a different reading.
Well,
the thing can go up to the flagpole.
Right?
If
If you have a totally different angle, entirely different angle, somehow In God We Trust damages your liver.
Well,
then maybe.
Well, a lot of it has been a lot of the argument from, again, those that want it there. Let me just find it real quick. Is so in what we have to remember is that, you talk about legal precedent, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
This has been before the Supreme Court.
Right.
So in 1977, the Supreme Court ruled that people who use U.S. currency are not advertising the national motto, since money is, quote, generally carried in a purse or pocket and need not be displayed to the public. So, all it's going to take is one judge who looks at these nonsensical arguments and says, I'm sorry, the precedent, I have to rule on my own.
Yeah, but then it goes up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court makes the same ruling.
Or they don't even take it.
But
nonetheless, these arguments on the surface, make no sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's bold-faced dopiness.
Yeah.
It's fun. Yeah. But
these are the kind of decisions where it's almost... people probably keep doing, keep suing in federal court over this issue.
Yeah.
Because these decisions are challenging someone to just disagree with them and to overturn them. They're ludicrous.
Of course they're ludicrous. Of course they are. And if there's a lesson here, it's that our judicial system has some problems. It is not perfect.
That is true.
I'm going to take us finally to St. Paul, Minnesota, for some very good news, I think.
From St. Paul?
Yes.
Wow.
The Archdiocese of St. Paul and Minneapolis announced that they're finally settling with 450 victims of clergy sex abuse. And they're declaring bankruptcy because they done fucked up.
Yeah.
But within that bankruptcy is a settlement that is for $210 million.
Wow.
So it's the second largest payout for this kind of a scandal
Wow.
For the Roman Catholic Church.
Oh, that's no small change.
It's not a small amount to be split between 450 victims. That's and it won't just be split. There will be certain things. I think they still have yet to decide how this gets distributed and all of this sort of thing. I think there will probably be a fund for people to get therapy and a bunch of other things, but they're not messing around.
Nice.
It's $50 million, approximately $50 million more than the archdiocese originally plotted out for this.
Oh,
because their lawyers, the victims' lawyers, negotiated and worked hard.
Wow.
Most of this funding, approximately $170 million of it, will come from insurance carriers.
Okay.
Who, I'm guessing, nobody wants to insure the Catholic Church anymore and indemnify them against these sorts of things. I'm guessing that the premiums now are high.
Yeah, the it's a very expensive rider that has to be attached for the specific issue.
The rest of the money will come from the parishes, the archdiocese. Apparently, a pension fund is getting raided for
Good.
this.
They shouldn't be able to retire,
and they will have to sell some real estate.
Good.
Yeah. So
I hope it hurts.
I hope it hurts a lot.
Yeah.
They need
Good on them.
They need to feel it.
Yeah.
And
it's wow.
And apparently they're talking the good talk about, like, we want to expedite this and make sure that we get it to them quickly and all of that sort of thing. So we'll see. One of the victims, one Jim Keenan, had said this. He said, "We changed the playing field. They have to listen to victims now, and that is huge."
Nice.
Hurrah!
Yes.
So
Good.
I think that's a great note to end this on. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have anything you'd like to add to our conversation about any of the things that we've talked about so far, please do so. Feel free to write into us, podcast at thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yep. Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist, and click on that like button.
And while on Facebook, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge and request to join. It is a closed group, but we'll let you in.
We sure will.
Yo, Dan.
Yo. Well, yo to you.
Well, yeah. Hello. So let's see. What do we got here today? We have Alex Jones. He has somebody on his show. Who is this guy?
Well, here's what's funny. It's not the show. It's like these guys are talking. The background is this gorgeous blue lagoon.
Sure.
They're showing off how wealthy they are because
Right.
they can be in fancy places.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, I don't know who this guy is. Some guy.
Some Yahoo with a theory.
John Abiscaron. I don't think that's a real word.
I love that name.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
And what's great is that Alex Jones starts talking, hands his friend the mic, and leaves, and then can't resist, has to come running back in, grab the mic, talk into the mic a little bit, then hand his friend, and then leave again. He keeps literally exiting the screen.
Right.
It's the weirdest thing, but they have a good message.
Yeah. So let's hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
Look at Hollywood, the whole media. They literally hate Christians. They admit the persecution of Christians doubled the last 10 years.
Yep.
They absolutely admit that if they can extinguish that, they believe they can then be God.
You know, atheists should have absolutely no regard for Christianity. They shouldn't even care. Think about it. Are you a Buddhist? No, you're not. I'm not a Buddhist. Do you ever think about Buddhism? Does it obsess you? Does that upset you? Do you go after it? No, you don't. You don't even think about it because you don't believe in it. A true atheist wouldn't care about Christianity. They just look at it as just another religion I don't believe in, whatever. Why is there a vitriolic hatred towards Christianity? Think about that. Because it's a spiritual war. It's a bloodlust because it's a spiritual thing that we're talking about here, people. Not necessarily the people may not even realize, but if there's a demon inside them, or if they're not with God or walking in the world and in the worldly evil world, they're naturally going to reject what's from God. That's why you see people rejecting Donald Trump. But however, the good news is there's millions and millions of the silent majority that understand what's going on, and they're supporting Donald Trump. That's why he won. How did he win? Think about it. How did Donald Trump win?
And I love the spirit of it. They know he's not perfect. He's a wrecking ball. He never was a hypocrite. They instinctively from the beginning understood that it was a weapon against the enemy. Like you said, the way he just doesn't even care what they do to him.
They don't. In fact, in the prophecy, God said they will speak against him. They will throw all the darts. The enemy will throw the darts at him. They'll do everything they can, but it will roll off his back like the water rolling off of a duck. Just like the feathers protect the duck, he's protecting the Donald Trump. You know what Donald Trump's been doing since the day he got president? He's been going after the pedophiles. They've been doing raids after raids. Of course, the media doesn't mention this. You got to look at it. Look into it. Seek ye the truth. That's an order from God. Seek ye the truth, because when you go after the truth, you end up to God. That's no matter what. You go after the truth, you end up with God. And look it up. Donald Trump's been sending raids, capturing and finding children in cages waiting to be tortured and ritually sacrificed. He's been saving people. He's been saving children, and he's been arresting pedophiles like crazy, raid after raid.
And that's the thing. It shows up in local news. We cover the news every day. It's everywhere. It's like every day, but never national news.
Never.
And then they panic more and more, and they have NAMBLA now coming out at the UN, coming out on Vice, coming out of the Huffington Post, coming out on Salon saying, oh, it's okay. So they're trying to normalize it now. It's pure evil because they're vampires. They psychically want to feed on the children. They can't actually sacrifice them. They want to suck their essence out and ruin their innocence.
There's a
Wow.
lot there.
Wow, guys. That's quite a thing you got going on. Holy shit. I love that they're trying to revive the Satanic Panic. That was one of the funnest parts of the 80s. So good job on that.
It was effective.
Yeah. Yeah, and apparently people believe it. Every so often you just got to have one of those just because people will believe that there are giant cabals of child raping, kidnappers
Who keep children in cages until the bloodletting time comes.
I got news for these guys. Trump isn't saving children from cages. He's the one that's putting them there. Like, ICE is the one that's putting kids into cages.
Yeah.
It's not these imaginary
But those children
rings.
don't belong here, Dan.
Right. Right. So rip them out of the arms of their parents. That's probably the best thing to do.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know, I didn't expect Alex Jones to go crazy like that. That was really
Really?
very unexpected.
Huh.
Very alarming that normally such a staid and
reason.
steadied man would go so wackadoo on us.
Yeah, how did he
Anyway,
how did he do that?
We had some folks, we had someone write into us, so I thought I'd read this. This is from Eben, or Eben. You decide. You be the judge of the pronunciation of that name. Anyway, I'm thinking Eben because it might be short for Ebenezer, but who knows in this wild and wacky mixed up world. Anywho, hi guys. Was listening to your second most recent podcast when you talked about Pope Fran apologizing to the gay man and saying he loved him and that God loved him as he is. While I get why this would be surprising to many, it's actually completely in line with what the Catholic Church teaches. Unlike many other churches who insist one can change their sexuality, the Catholic Church has long taught that gay people are born gay and will remain so their whole life. So more than being progressive, the Pope is just good at leaving out the part of the teachings that pisses people off. In this case, that being gay is your cross to bear, as God expects you to be celibate. Or if you're bi, to date the opposite gender only. You're still loved, but priesthood for you. And this is the same Pope who compared being trans to the destructive power of a nuclear bomb on nature and society. So, yeah. Anyway, love the show. Hope you both are well. Well, thank you for that. Yeah, I don't think either of us were under any illusion that this Pope was like, oh, we're going to change the gay thing now. But
He's still Catholic.
is he? Is the Pope Catholic? Yeah, but it is, I don't know. It's hard to read this Pope. This Pope loves to say the progressive thing and then do the not progressive thing.
Yeah. He's tricky.
He's a trickster.
Uh,
He's Pope Loki. Popey Loki. Anyway, do we have some folks to thank?
We do have some people to thank. We actually have 2 new venerable listeners this week on Patreon. We have Amber and Allison. And these 2 both went to, presumably, thankgodimatheist.com.
Correct.
Where they clicked on the support tab and then followed the link over to Patreon.
Yeah.
Where we have a campaign up and running. So, this is our way of keeping the show going.
Yep.
And
they get access to an ad-free version of the show. And also, I don't remember. At some level, you get access to the Franken Den.
This very level.
So they will have access to every week we do, or we try to do every week, a Franken Dan Diary, which is just bonus content just for you guys. And the rest of you just can feel all of the FOMO about it because you don't get to hear it. And that's final.
That's just going to have to be that.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely. And then there's one more person.
There is always our top donor.
Our Lord and Savior,
the Archangela herself, Angela.
Peace be upon her. May she wave.
Funny.
You're like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
anyway, we love you guys so much.
Thanks for your support. And you know what, guys? Thanks. You guys showed up. We asked for some help with getting some more reviews and some star ratings
some
on
5-star reviews.
iTunes and the various different platforms out there. And you guys showed up in huge numbers. Dan, how much are we up to?
We're over 1,000. I was not prepared and didn't pull up iTunes yet, so
but
we're
over 1,000, which was the goal. I think it's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. We're going to shut up about this for a little while.
That doesn't mean you have to stop giving us a 5-star review. Like if you haven't
if you
done
still
it
want
yet,
to, it's still there.
You could go and do it. But yeah, we've just made it over 1,000. We're at like 1,007 as of this recording right now.
That's absolutely amazing. We're at a solid 5 stars again. And it's been great getting these nice comments that are being left as well.
Yeah.
So we really do appreciate it. You guys are awesome. We love the community that's developed up around the show. And
you're a part of that, listener.
Yeah. And
you. I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
You.
So you can show your support by going and giving a star rating or heading on over to Patreon. Do one, do both.
Do it all.
Whatever you want. Dan.
Oh, Frank.
Were you a victim of religious propaganda?
Dude, I was a perpetrator of religious propaganda.
What? How dare you?
Oh, my God. People. Frank, you and I just recorded, and it will be available soon, an episode of God Awful Movies.
Yeah, it's true.
Which will be coming out for their Mormon movie month. They like to have the FOMOs, the former Mormons, on their show to talk about stuff. And I participated in the creation of some of the weirdest bits of internal propaganda.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're going to talk about. It's one thing. The Mormons love to make very slick movies of that they're going to put out to the world and hope that everybody watches them. Like, I think they genuinely think that a whole bunch of people are going to watch them and go, "Oh my God, they're so nice."
Yeah.
Is that what this is? I'm going to join. I feel the Lord in me right now.
Well, there's Mr. Kruger's Christmas, right?
Oh, with Jimmy Stewart.
With Jimmy Stewart.
That was in the early days.
Yeah. They did that one, and it's well done for a little film of its era.
Yeah.
Intended for
Then they went a little dark. They started to make the Cipher in the Snow.
Yeah.
And what was the mailbox one where an old lady? Anyway.
Oh dear God, that one's sad.
They made some sad, fucking dark ass movies. I don't know why.
Oh, they made you feel guilty.
They made you feel so fucking shitty.
You didn't write a letter to that woman. She was expecting that letter, Dan.
She kept
go out to the mailbox every day,
and then she died.
And then you realized that you never wrote her a letter.
Yeah,
you could have helped her.
There's
an old woman in your life somewhere.
Yeah,
Dan.
Or Cipher in the Snow. There's a little kid who gets made fun of, and then fucking asks, like on the way to school, asks the bus driver to pull over and just plops down dead in the snow.
Yeah.
Which is this was supposed to be an anti-bullying sort of film.
Yeah.
But for those of us who were more bullied than bullying, I just thought, oh shit, this might kill me. They're being mean to me. I could die. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a little confusing.
It was not a good...
It was terrifying,
It was
actually.
horrifying. Yes. But we're not talking about those movies.
No.
Those are for out into the world.
Really, Cypher, those were intended to be shared?
I don't know. I saw it at public school. That was where I was shown that movie. I didn't even know it was a church movie. They showed it to me at public school.
That's awful.
Because it doesn't have any
There's
direct
no Jesus
references.
Right. Okay.
But then there's this other world of videos made for Mormons. It's by Mormons, for Mormons, boom, boom.
But these are intended for sort of the classroom setting,
right?
Like these are instructional goodies, right? That these accompany lessons that your seminary teacher, for example, might be teaching about some concept. And
to remind our listeners, Mormon kids, high school age kids,
right,
are expected to go to what they call seminary, which it's not.
No.
You're not studying to be a priest, but you have. But it's like every day, either before school or after school or even during school, if you're here in the state of Utah, you go and you get a little church lesson, which, oh my God, it's torture. It's so bad. Like, why are they making us do this? You make us go to 3 hours of church every Sunday. Why is there more? But there's more. But they want to spice it up, so they make these fun little videos.
Yeah, and they wheel in the AV cart.
Oh, my God. You guys, it's so fucking
Pop
bad.
in that VHS tape.
It is so
This
bad.
is my recollection of how it worked.
Yeah.
And
that's
the
90s for you, right?
And there were
there.
like little pause points in these these films
built into the film,
where the teacher was then supposed to like ask questions and, well, let's see how Jimmy really did.
Yeah.
Right. And then you progress, and because Jimmy's struggling with
well,
whatever.
And what do you guys think Jimmy should do? Have you guys discovered why Jimmy's being a shit?
Right.
What do you think Jimmy's sin is? Let's all judge Jimmy.
Jimmy sucks.
They're terrible and they're amazing. And it's not just Mormons.
No.
You and I have seen like Jehovah's Witness internal videos. It's just here's the thing. It's fascinating. They're pumping money into these things.
Yeah. Well, Dan, I think that it makes, from my perspective, if I think back to what was my reaction to these videos, right? And like
back in the 90s, you're an up and coming Mormon.
Yeah, and sheltered, and basically Mormonism was the only thing that I really knew. Right. And what it did for me and my perception of the church was that, wow, look at what we can do.
Yeah.
Look at what the church can do. The church can produce videos.
Oh, you say videos, but let me tell you something.
The church has resources.
When I was hired as a young actor to be in these things,
right,
I showed up to the LDS MPS, which is the Latter-day Saint Mormon or Motion Picture Studio.
Yeah, I know.
Woo!
I've been out there.
Yeah,
it's pretty well equipped, is what I will say about it.
Yeah. At the time, like, we saw one of the videos that I did, and like they were using green screen technology.
Oh my God!
They were using
How? That's amazing.
Isn't that
That's really like faith promoting
Right?
for me. Like that, and I'm kind of serious. Like it really made me have this like, we are such a sophisticated organization. We like, and these videos, of course, then come along and, you know, fuck with your mind, right? Because the moral lessons that, especially in the Mormon ones that are being taught, are not really all that like moral or ethical.
If there is
like,
a moral lesson, it's like it can be hard to decipher. Like they sort of, I remember being a Mormon and feeling like I instinctively had some understanding of what the fuck was supposed to be learning. But now I realize how much of the work I was doing myself. Like they had not presented it in a way that was useful. Like I was, I think I get what they're saying. And I'm like, my brain is like on fire just trying to make this thing happen. We're trying to make this make sense of the gobbledygook that they're throwing at us.
Right. I was always pretty good about piecing it together. Like, you know, my brain spoke Mormon.
Well, we were primed for it. I mean, like, Mormonism has in it just sort of a cultural understanding of certain lessons and certain ideas and certain concepts that, like, the way that they talk to people outside of Mormonism makes clear they don't know that that's not everybody's understanding of the universe.
Right.
It's very interesting.
Well, it was funny, just to talk about the show that we were just on, the God Awful Movies.
Yeah.
It was funny to listen to their bewilderment about, like, pride, right? And, like, because for me, I had been taught what that video was teaching, that pride is, you know, enmity and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And
which somebody get a dictionary because that's not what pride is.
Right, exactly. But I'm sitting there and I'm completely understanding what the video's talking about, right? Because again, my brain speaks Mormon.
Right.
With no effort, right?
It's your native tongue.
It is my native tongue, unfortunately. And so I have to have that moment of like, no, like that's not what those words mean.
Right.
That's not actually a healthy concept about pride.
Right.
That's not healthy human relationships. Like all these things where you're just like, whoa, like even after so many years of being out of it, there's still these weird little things that'll pop up. Right.
It can be fascinating.
Yeah.
It can be amazing. I recommend, like, if you were in a weirdo religion like we were when you were younger, if you were a J-Dub or you were maybe a Scientologist or whatever, Scientology might be tricky to get your hands on the videos, but go revisit the shit that was shown to you.
Oh, good.
Because, and you may have to, like, don't allow your brain to slip into the programming.
Right.
You have to come at it from the other side of it. It's amazing. Like, it's so horrifying.
I had to
the
sit
messaging that they're actually putting out there.
I had to sit there and resist the what I will call cry cues.
Yeah.
Right? Like I was sitting there and like the music's coming in and the people are saying the thing and I'm like wait a second, this is the worst, most manipulative thing ever.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, you know, I don't believe it, of course, right? And how could this be having any emotional effect on me? And it was.
That's
right?
amazing.
Like it knew where the buttons were, and it just got in there and pushed them. And
That's
I'm
because
like,
they planted those buttons.
They put the buttons there.
They literally, like, these are, like, I get it. I didn't feel that with these movies, but sometimes I go to church, and especially when they start singing the hymn, I'm like, I'll sing the hymn. I don't care. I'll just sing along. Like, I don't want to go to church, but if I'm there, I might as well sing. It staves off the boredom a little bit, and I'll be like, da da da. Why am I emotional?
Yeah.
Why the fuck am I emotional? It's a dumb song in a church that's ridiculous.
Right. Because they programmed
but
you.
But they
Ben.
fucking programmed the shit out of me.
Yeah, they did.
And I'm still deprogramming. It's amazing. Now I find it funny. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't disturb me to encounter these moments.
No.
But it's shocking when they happen. And I actually feel like I probably need to go expose myself more in order to deprogram more.
Yeah.
Right? Get that nasty shit out. Learn how to like Like, not, I mean, it's not that important because it never rears its ugly head in my life.
Right. And you're
Not
fine.
now.
And you're fine.
I'm fine.
You don't need it. But it is.
But knowing where those buttons are would be nice
It's
to get rid of.
so interesting.
But I will also say these are the same buttons that, ads on TV know how to push too.
Sure.
So I think it's more that they just know the shorthand of like emotional manipulation.
Yep.
More than anything else,
Or, and this is a possibility, I just want to bring this up, Jesus.
It might be Jesus.
Maybe Jesus is real.
Jesus,
and
he lives in Mormon videos.
He makes you
and
feel
in long
things.
distance telephone ads, which aren't even a thing anymore. But
right. Oh my God. I tell you, it's fascinating. These people are making videos for themselves, and it works. Mm-hmm. It gets people just stuck in these mindsets, and that's the real thing, right? Like, I need you to stay guilty about yourself. I need you to continue to feel feelings that I've created. I need you to feel the feelings I want you to feel,
right?
So that you associate high emotion with church,
right,
and with what we're doing, so that when I say the Holy Spirit is operating within you, you believe me.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
it's amazing.
Oh, it's
you guys.
Wow.
I mean,
these assholes.
Hey, they got a business to run.
I know.
What I mean? It's
they don't need your money, but they need your money.
It is funny how I feel like after having gone through all of this and like deprogramming from all of this, I feel it's hard to get me. Like if a company is trying to manipulate me with an ad or whatever, I'm watching for it. Mm-hmm. Everywhere I look, I'm watching. Oh, you're trying to manipulate me.
Right.
That's not going to work. Not today, mister. Oh, man.
Very funny.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure that many of you have been manipulated by your religions in ways that we don't even know about.
Yeah.
So if you want to participate in this, let us know how your church got you by writing into us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you could call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Indeed. Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist, and click that like button.
And while you're on Facebook, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge and request to join. It is a closed group, but we'll let you in.
We will indeed. And speaking of Facebook, thanks so much to Mackenzie for all of her work on the Facebook page. And thanks to Danny, Amy, and Sarah for their work on the moderating the Members Only Lounge.
And, of course, we need to make a big thank you to the Red Rock Hot Club and Gordon Johnston for the use of their music.
Yeah, and thank you guys, all of y'all, for tuning in. We sure do appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.